Gentlemen, we have called you together to inform you that we are going to overthrow the United States government. Do you still think that jet fuel brought down the World Trade Center? Does anybody else see a problem here? If the government has nothing to hide, why are they so afraid to answer a few questions? This story does not add up.
Let me just go back to Gingrich for a minute. Please get this video out. The information you just saw, please get it out to everybody. Warn these poor, sick, bamboozled people that follow the Republican leadership who demonize Ron Paul. Please, all the fools that worshipped Obama who are now apologizing to me, good. At least you woke up. But we don't have time to be conned again and again. Gingrich and Obama, they're all evil. But Gingrich is an actual Illuminist operative. I mean, that guy is a demon. He had a wife dying of cancer, and he came in and talked crap to her and divorced her as she was dying, as she begged him. He's a papa psycho. Those of us that have feeling need to stand up against these dark ones. I'm telling you, folks, don't. We're going to beat them, though, because we had the jump on them historically. They're going to bring the tyranny in, but that's when the victory starts, because people aren't going to wake up till it gets really bad. You think what you've seen so far is an awakening? This is only the beginning. And you people, I wish we could stop it before it gets 100 times worse, but at least in the darkest hour, we're going to beat these people. When you realize you got nothing left to lose with them. Whew, man. Oh, man. Nothing like a Nelly fat-ass psycho demon. I'm sorry. I just... I pray to God to bring justice to this man. I'll say that right now. I pray to God to bring justice to this person. I don't pray for God to have somebody do something to Newt Gingrich. I pray that God open up his eyes and make him humble. All right, I'm done talking about that little sissy. All right. God, how could you take America and want to destroy it and bring in evil and re-education and break up families? I mean, he's just a scumbag. Another scumbag, that Barney Frank stepped down today. Barney Frank. I'm going to talk about him coming up in a moment. Another sack of pus. Man. I get so angry, I can hardly continue here. There's a big article breaking down all the admissions they planned all this decades ago. It's all staged. And Al-Qaeda is their excuse to go into the countries when they actually use Al-Qaeda to overthrow them. And hell, land of the slave, home of the cowards, they love it. Okay, continuing here. We've got a Wesley Clark clip where he was talking about how this was planned a long time ago. And Pakistan's, of course, completely freaking out right now. Before we go to this Wesley Clark clip, they're having their military bases bombed by NATO as the globalists prepare to start war with them. Let's go ahead and go to that clip of Wesley Clark. Here it is.
He pulled up a piece of paper off his desk. He said, I just got this memo from the Secretary of Defense's office. It says we're going to attack and destroy the governments in 7 countries in 5 years. We're going to start with Iraq, and then we're going to move to Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Iran. I said, 7 countries in 5 years. I said, is that a classified memo? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, don't show it to me. He was about to show it to me. He said, because I want to talk about it. And I sat on this information for a long time, for about 6 or 8 months. I was so stunned by this, I couldn't begin to talk about it. And I couldn't believe it would really be true, but that's actually what happened.
It's funny, open source general, you should know, that was the former head of the major NATO operation in Serbia, you should know was the Israeli plan in 82 and 84 and adopted as the war plan after 1991. That's how we knew in Obama deception that Libya was next. People are like, how are we always so accurate? Because we've got a stinking roadmap. I mean, it's so you go to a play and, oh, up next is this scene. I mean, it's not rocket science. Let's get into the euro. One of the big writers over at the Financial Times of London has predicted that the Eurozone has 10 days left at most if total power isn't given to the banksters who engineered the crisis, of course. And I thought I would just look at this Economist magazine. Rob Jacobson likes to read it, and I like to read it as well. It's kind of the globalist, thinly veiled propaganda. but they're pretty honest in here. And I've got some of the quotes in here in an article titled "Minds Like Machines, Governments by Experts Sound Tempting, Especially in a Crisis. It Can Work." So they go on to say, it can work. This is really good. And then they go on to say, just like Newt Gingrich always talks about technocracy and technology, that's what Lenin did. Technocracy was once a communist idea. Oh, really? Borderless systems, the end of the family? Really? You mean government-forced health care, where they also control health care that Gingrich endorses? You mean it's communist? I thought that was just over in Russia. Technocracy was once a communist idea. With the proletariat in power, administration can be left to experts. Technocracy and autocracy have been natural bedfellows. Oh, autocracy. And Time Magazine, Newsweek, get rid of the Constitution. It's the problem. No, getting rid of the Constitution allowed this to now happen. Technocrats rule big chunks of public life. Central bankers are one example. Oh, look, in the article, it just goes through here. In fact, I've even got it highlighted here in my article, my little copy. Oh, they do run it. And I've literally seen hundreds of articles last month going, it's a banker coup. They're going to have a world government. They just got the idea. The bankers are going to have a world government, and they're going to have tax enforcers that run your country, and your country will have no sovereignty anymore. It'll all be run by them. They don't add the people that set it all up, the fraud, and put their people in over your government. It's a espionage, infiltrator takeover through financial fraud. But that's okay, because if you got a big heart, you're for it. You're for open borders so the globalists can just get rid of all your countries. If you got a big heart. And it goes on, even highly political governments set up independent or bipartisan panels to make difficult decisions. So we don't need Congress to do those bills anymore. They have a super committee, such as closing military bases. I told you that commission would fail, because when it fails, then they just automatically do whatever they want. It's all lies. Such as closing military bases, setting electronic boundaries, or making spending cuts so you can pay all the money to the bankers. They create independent agencies to run everything from health care to education. Oh, yes, they're very independent, filled with the corporate cronies. They create independent agencies to run everything from health care to education. They put outside experts in top jobs, the Goldman Sachs people in every position, such as the economist Larry Summers in the Clinton and Obama administrations. Oh, he's independent, got rid of Glass-Steagall to do all this. I mean, this is like saying they hired Joseph Goebbels to be independent in the trial and prosecute Hitler. They hired Mrs. Santa Claus to prosecute Mr. Claus because she's independent. They hired Santa Claus's son because he has nothing to do with Santa Claus. I mean, just and intellectuals think they read The Economist. They get it. And oh God, I'm going to repeat this around at the corporate meeting and sound really smart. I'm so smart. It's just incredible. Okay, I just can't take it anymore. But we're still the bad people because we predicted everything that happened with precision. It's those crazies that think there's going to be a global government run by international bankers. The crazy ones that, yeah, aren't they? They're so bad. They're going to cause violence in America. Whatever, you're the ones murdering people all over the world. Al-Qaeda's being put in power everywhere. And I'm like, hey, these government manuals don't talk about Al-Qaeda. It's all about arresting gun owners. Shut up, traitor. Shut up, anti-American. I thought America was about land and family and guns. I wanted to be free. I just wanted to be left alone. Shut up. Bankers that engage in fraud and take private bank accounts from people and people's houses that are paid for, they're the good men. You're the bad man. Oh, the IMF is drawing up another $500 billion package to save Italy, Spain, and the euro. I probably told you about 100 times after they were done with Iceland, Ireland. I even told you the order because there's a public plan. Greece. Then it would then be Italy, Spain, Portugal. Oh, and of course then they leveraged the $500 billion to around $10 trillion. They leveraged $1.4 billion into $5 trillion. They're going to leverage all of this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, they need, then when that implodes, it'll spread to America. And we've got to merge it all. There's got to be one big thing. Oh, let's have the very people that engineered it fix it. And all the media will say, they have fixed it. They have fixed it. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I mean, because the trendies read Economist. Oh, the bankers are going to take over. No more freedom? You mean we're getting rid of governments and it'll be experts? Oh my God, it's so trendy. You people that said there'd be a dictatorship and the military and the streets and that banks would run everything, you're kooks for being right, but it is trendy. It's good and I love it, but you're also wrong and kooks. This is the mental illness of these people. And they'll have their bank accounts taken, everything. Their kids will die of cancer from the vaccines. They'll die early. They love it. It's like, oh my God, I love the system. Because the system smiles at them on TV, the psychopaths and the teleprompter info babes trained to mimic psychopath liars. They sit up there and, oh, tonight we're going to cover how we're going to take your money. Ooh. And it's like, yay, yay. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, how much more crazy does it have to get? Because it's going to get bad, folks. They're going to probably start trying to shut the web off, arrest people like me. I mean, who knows how they'll try to set me up. But it doesn't matter. We beat them in the end because we knew the truth. And folks will listen down the road. No amount of brainwashing, Prozac is going to stop that. No amount of NFL and this culture of death. None of it will stop it. Now let's move into the type of people we're dealing with here. You know, I asked Paul Watson a month ago to do an article. I said, look it up. It's 5 times more likely to abuse children in government care, CPS, than any other group. So they take kids and they just think they're at risk in actuaries. Well, what about an actuary about government being the greatest risk? And Paul sent back email and said, well, look at all these government documents. You're 17 times more likely to be abused sexually by CPS, 5 times regular physical. A good, you know, punch in the nose, starving, whatever. And so government is 17 times more likely to abuse children, and they're the ones over children because they like it. The Daily Mail and others are reporting that major TV programs like ESPN had the tapes for 10 years of the wife of this Syracuse coach, assistant coach, saying, yes, I watched him rape little boys. And, you know, ESPN said, hey, it's a club. Your kids, you know, we're not releasing this. So the assistant coach went down to Safeway and got a steak. That's how it's seen. The public's our food. Ah, look, they think we care that the kids are our food. We're psychopath control freak scum. We're a legion of evil. We're not releasing it because that's who we are. We've been given power over this world to carry out evil, especially against children, and we're going to be accomplices, just like Sandusky and everything else. And you know what? America doesn't care either. Take your vaccines and give us your children. He got what he deserved. Victims praise Syracuse for firing sex abuse scandal coach as tapes reveal his wife watched husband molest boys in their home. And ESPN had the tapes and just said, you know what? We're not going to go there because we're part of a team. A team. Watch all those homoerotic shows, all those things they do on the sports. If that's their thing, whatever. But keep your hands off kids, okay? I know who you are. I know who you are. DICTATORSHIP, all of it. You're all scum. Continuing here, ESPN reporter explains why the fine tape wasn't released in 2002. Oh, you know, and why not? DICTATORSHIP Halliburton run this stuff worldwide. Comes out in Congress, nothing's done. Why not? Those of us that don't want to hurt children are the bad people in the land of hell. In an insane culture, those that are good are the bad people. And you've got to learn that. You are the hunted ones. You are the bad people. All right, we're going to go to break and come back with the major news reports and a new peer-reviewed paper, The Corporate Psychopath Theory of the Global Financial Crisis. And then Gerald Celente is coming up. Great job to the crew so far. Please, I hope this isn't pearls before swine. Do you realize how powerful this info is? I'll tell you like it is. We can beat these people, but you've got to admit how bad they are. Okay? It's the only way to beat them. You've got to admit how rotten we've gotten and how pathetic we've gotten if we're ever going to dig out of this. Because you think it's bad now. These teams of psychos are getting ready to do a major blitz on us all. They've got it all lined up, all ready. They've been poisoning our food and water for a while, and we're in a red level emergency. And as the professor is about to tell you, they're even going to destroy their own system. They cannot help it. They're cancer.